Jazakallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. We finished the 14th verse of Surah Al-Baqarah and we continue with the 15th verse. وَإِذَا لَقُوا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا قَالُوا آمَنَّا وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ قَالُوا إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ. And when they meet those who believe, they say, we believe. But when they are alone with their ringleaders, they say, we are certainly with you. We are only mocking. Now let's look at the split word translation. There are certain words now which I think you should be able to pick up straight away. The basic words like wa, for example, and some basic words I think you should have picked them up by now. Wa and iza, when. Laqu, they meet. Allazina, those. Amanu, they believed. Qalu, they said. Now let's look at the first line again. Laqu, they meet. If I'm sure you've all heard of the term mulaqat. You go to mulaqat, you go and meet Hazur, it's called a mulaqat. So laqu is meet. Laqu, they meet. It's in the past tense. So waiza laqu, and when they meet. Allazina, those people. So if I was to remove the noon, allazi itself would mean that individual. Okay. Allazina is plural, it would mean those people. Amanu, they believed. This is past tense. It's called fail mazi. They believed. Qalu, they said. Again, this is past tense. Qalu, they said. Amanna, we believe. Of course, this verse is talking about the hypocrites. Wa and iza, when. Hello, they're alone. Ila, towards. Shayatinihim, their ringleaders. Now, ila words, I'm sure we've studied ila many times before. So if I was to say ilal masjid, let's type it here. If I was to say ilal masjid, that would mean towards the masjid. Okay? Ila, always remember, means towards. Okay? Please, if I can request the participants to mute themselves, only my mic should be unmute. Khalau, they're allowed. So khalau, to explain it further, this is actually derived from khala. Khala means he was alone. Khala, he was alone, and khalau, they're alone. And they're alone with whom? Ila, towards shayateen. Now the him in the end refers to their. Right. So if I do this, shayateen, on its own, shayateen means ringleaders. Right? Shayateen means ringleaders. Shayatinihim, their ringleaders. Now I've taken quite a bit of commentary for this, what shayateen, what the word itself means. So shayateen, ringleaders, is the plural of shaitan. You've all heard of shaitan or Satan, which is either derived from shatana or shata. So derived from this root, the word shaitan would mean the being who is not only himself far from truth, but also turns others away from it. Okay. So in common usage, the word shaitan means, number one, wicked or evil spirit, i.e. Satan, anybody who greatly transgresses the proper limits and is excessively proud and rebellious. 3, serpent, for any blamable power or faculty or propensity like anger, etc., mufradat. And 5th meaning is any painful condition like excessive thirst, etc. Now you can see shaitan, the word itself, has a variety of meanings. Normally we associate shaitan with something evil, something bad. But if you were to look at the meanings again, the most important thing would be this one, right? That derived from this root, the word shaitan would mean the being who is not only himself far from the truth, so shaitan is far from the truth, but he also turns others away from it, right? So when we say people when people turn away from the truth and the teachings of Allah the Almighty, he is being inspired by the teachings which are obviously not from Allah the Almighty. So that makes them, shaitan has inspired him to move away from Allah the Almighty. But again, the meanings are so vast for this. The wicked, evil spirit, anybody who greatly transgresses the proper limits. Serpent is also shaitan. For any blamable power or faculty like anger, etc. Right? There's a famous hadith of the Prophet ﷺ that anger is the work of shaitan. So when one is angry, he is not in full control of himself and he makes many mistakes. And the Prophet ﷺ said that when one is angry and he acts in a state of anger, then that is the work of shaitan, right? And that comes from mufradat, from akrab. Sorry, any from mufradat, the lexicon or the dictionary mufradat. Also, any painful condition like excessive thirst. Anyone who has suffered from excessive thirst, especially in the warmer countries where the climate is much warmer, and they can tell you it's excessive thirst is almost like dying, and you can die very, very quickly from excessive thirst or the demand of water. So you see, shaitan has got a variety of different meanings, but in this context, we are talking about the hypocrites. So Wa'iza and when khalau, they're left alone, they're alone. Ila towards shayatinihim, their ringleaders. Can I please request? Rabib Sab, are you able to mute the participants? That's fine. So Wa'iza khalau, and when they're alone, ila shayatinihim, towards their ringleaders. Qalu, they said, Inna, surely we. Okay. Inna on its own means surely. Inna is surely. You've read this many, many times already. Inna Allah, surely Allah. So inna is, when there's alif in the end, is surely we. Surely we. Ma'akum, ma'a is with, and kum is you. Ma'akum, with you. Innama, surely, nahnu, we, mustahzi'un, those who are mocking. Those people who mock are called mustahzi'un. In Urdu we say istihza karna. So mustahzi'un are those individuals, this is plural, who mock, who are known to mock. Okay. So the word mustahzi'un, mocking, is derived from istihza, which again is derived from haza, both having the same meaning. Haza bihi or istihza bihi means he laughed at, or mocked, or scoffed at. Can I please ask the members to mute themselves? I'm having to stop the class over and again. So istihza means he laughed at, mocked, or scoffed at, or derived him, he made light of him. So haza also means he suddenly died. He put it, camel, etc. in motion. Haza and hazwa are infinitive nouns from haza and mean mocking or scoffing or jesting, etc. Object of mocking, etc. So what you need to remember, it might be a bit more detailed for you. So if we take this haza, it means mocking, but this is the main thing, mocking, or secondly, object of mocking. Right? So mustahzi'un are those individuals who mock, right? And of course, by in this context, it means it's referring to the hypocrites, وَإِذَا خَلَوْا إِلَى شَيَاطِينِهِمْ, and when they're alone towards their ringleaders, قَالُوا, they say, إِنَّا مَعَكُمْ, surely we're with you. إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُسْتَهْزِئُونَ, surely we are only mocking. We're only those people who are mocking, right? So they spend time with those who are of faith, those who are believers, they spend time with them. So when they go to their ringleaders and the ringleaders ask them that, why do you go to them? They say, no, we're only mocking. We're only those individuals who mock, right? So we call these individuals hypocrites. Then the next verse is, Allahu yastahzi'u. You see, mustahzi'un is the last word. Yeah, you can see it's mustahzi'un. And the verb is yastahzi'u. Allah will punish mockery, right? Yastahzi'u would mean that he mocks, but of course Allah the Almighty does not mock anyone. This will mean Allahu yastahzi'u, Allah will punish mockery. Bihim, with that, right? So when you say Allahu yastahzi'u bihim, Allah will punish their mockery. Wa yamudduhum, and he will continue them. If you look at the passage above, and he will let them continue, right? So you can see how the wording can change slightly in the translations. وَيَمُدُّهُمْ, and he will let them continue. He will continue them in what? Fi, in طُغْيَانِهِمْ, in their transgression. يَأْمَهُونَ, they wander blindly. Now طُغْيَانِهِمْ is طُغْيَان. Him is there. Okay. طُغْيَان is transgression. So Tughyan is derived from Tagha, which means he exceeded the proper limits. Tagha Falanun means he was excessive in sin and transgression. Tagal Ma means the water was in flood. Right. So Tagha means to exceed the proper limits. Right. So what this means, transgression means, when Allah has set certain boundaries for you, transgression would mean that you cross those limits. You cross those boundaries. That is why it's called transgression. Now, Yamahun is derived from Amahu, which means Ama means he was or became confounded or perplexed and was unable to see his way and went to and from in confusion. Right. So you can see from Akrab, the meaning in Akrab means to be confused about something. Right. That he became confounded, perplexed, and he was unable to see his way, which literally means that he was confused. He didn't know where to go, right? So Allah says, وَيَمُدْ اللَّهُ يَسْتَهْزِئُ بِهِمْ, Allah will punish their mockery. وَيَمُدُّهُمْ, and he will continue them, he will let them continue. Be in طُغْيَانِهِمْ, in their transgression. يَأْمَهُونَ, they wander blindly. Right? So without realizing the mistakes they're making, they continue going around in circles, making the same mistakes over and again. Ya'mahun, they wander blindly. Now, if you go back to the verse now, the first verse, Wa'iza, and when, Laku, they meet, Allazina, those, Amanu, who believe. If you can follow the translation underneath as well, Qalu, they say, Amanna, we believe. Wa, and Iza, when, it says but when, but it's the same thing. Wa Iza, and when, Kalau, they are alone, ila shayatinihim, with their ringleaders, or towards their ringleaders. Qalu, they say, inna, certainly we, ma'akum, are with you. Inna ma, surely, Nahnu we, mustahzi'un are only mocking, right? But if I just give you the word mustahzi'un, it means those people who mock. But in the tarjma, in the general meaning, it will mean we're only mocking. So I know that this might be a bit difficult for you, but inshallah, I hope that you've picked up the main point. So let's look at the split word again. Wa and iza when, laku they meet, allazina those, amanu who believed, they believed, qalu they said, amanna we believe. Wa and iza when, kalau they're alone, ila towards, shayatinihim their leaders, their ringleaders, it's fine, you can use either. Qalu, they said, Inna, surely we, ma'akum, with you. But remember this, ma'akum is ma'akum. Innama, surely, nahnu we, mustahzeun, are those who are mocking. Now the next verse is Allahu yastahzehu. Allah,
If you're doing
Rabib Sahab, Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, Rabib Sahab. Is anyone from the organizing team? Allahu yastahze'u, Allah will punish mockery, bihim with their. But when you look here, Allahu yastahze'u, it means Allah will punish their mockery. Wa yamudduhum, wa and yamuddu. Yamuddu means he will let them continue. Yamudduhum, he will let them continue. He will give them time to continue. Fi in tughyanihim, in their transgression. Tughyan, transgression, tughyanihim, their transgression. Ya'mahun, they wander blindly. So I think that is enough for today. The verses are quite difficult that we've taken today. So let's have a quick test to see where we stand. So again, let me just see if we can mute the participants quickly. So now I will share an empty page, as you can see. So I'll just put up a few words, and if you can put in the chat box and try to answer it, just type in the answer, and let's see how you answer the questions. So the first word is ya mahun. What does this mean? If you can type in the chat box. Ya mahun.
Blindly.
Can you please type in the chat box? They wander blindly, and the other one is wandering blindly. So these are the two main answers that I have received in the chat box. The correct answer would be, it's very, very close. The correct answer would be they wander blindly. You can see there's a ya here, which indicates he, but the waw noon indicates plural. Ya'mahun, they wander blindly, right? So if this was just a noun, I'm not sure if I showed you the noun, that would be something different. That would just mean wandering blindly, right? But because this is a verb, ya'mahu means he wanders blindly. Ya'mahun, they wander blindly. So the Quran says, yamuddu hum. Most of you translated this as yamudduhum, right? So this will be he let continue, or he gave time. In Urdu we say muddat. Muddat means just a brief period of time, right? So yamuddu He gave time, he let continue. But when you say yamudduhum, that will be he let them continue, right? This was the tricky word which I wanted to show you how the meanings can change very, very quickly. So most of you translated the word yamuddu as yamudduhum. He let them continue. So the word them comes from whom, which I did not include here. I only included the verb yamuddu, right? So mashallah, even if I look at the chat again, let them continue. Most of you answered it with he let them continue, but some of you did say he will let continue. So you can see the brief difference. I want to show you how certain words the translations can vary very, very quickly. So yamuddu, he will continue, he will give them time, he will give time home to them. I think almost everyone got the right answer. Shayateen just means ringleaders. I purposefully took out the word shayatinihim. That's what comes in the Quran. Shayatinihim. So someone, I think, wrote their ringleaders. So there actually is the translation for him, which was not in the word which I chose for you. So shayateen just means ringleaders, mashallah. So you see, you're picking up the points now. You're understanding the key points now. Let's see if you remember this. Hello. So I've received two answers again. Hello, they are alone or alone, right? So because this is a verb, and I did mention that this is past tense, so this would be the right translation would be they are alone or they were alone. But alone itself would be the noun, which this is not. This is the verb, past tense. Hello, they were alone or they are alone. Okay. But mashallah, in either way, it's very good. You guys are picking up the right points, mashallah. Let's see. The next word is amanna. Amanna. Mashallah. Everyone's answered correctly. We believed. Right. So amanna is the noon alif in the end is referring to us. We believed. So mashallah, all of you were spot on. One answer came as those who believe. So the one who believes would be I'm sure if you don't remember, if you can type in the box, let's see who can remember. What is someone who believes? What would be the Arabic for one who believes? Mu'min, mashallah. So that's exactly the right answer. Amanna, we believed. Mu'min is someone who believes. Excellent, mashallah. Excellent. Um, right, right, let's see if you can answer this now. This will be a combination of words. Innama nahnu mustahzi'un. Mashallah. Excellent. Innama, surely, nahnu, we, mustahzi'un are those people who mock, right? So innama nahnu mustahzi'un, the general translation is absolutely correct. Surely we were only mocking, right? So if we look at the translation, let's see. Right. We are only mocking, right? So this is the general translation. But if I was to just put in the word mustahzi'un on its own, the translation would have been those people who mock, right? Those who are mocking. But because it's a general translation, inna ma nahnu mustahzi'un, surely we are only mocking. So this is the actual translation uh, that we have. So most of you, mashallah, were really, really close to the actual translation. Some of you actually got it absolutely right. I actually, the word before I put in was as-sufaha, which was the foolish, but some of you still translated al-mufsidun, uh, those who create disorder, fasad. We say fasad is a normal word, which is for disorder. So some of you, I think, mixed disorder with the as-sufaha, which is foolish. So innahum humul mufsidun, surely it is they who create disorder, walakin la yashurun, but they do not perceive it. But still, I'm really impressed, mashallah. Excellent translation in general. I couldn't fault any of you, mashallah. Barakallahu lakum. So I will end the class here for today. Tomorrow, same time at 6 p.m., I will start the class. So I'll request you all to be on time, inshallah, and then we can quickly start the class for tomorrow. Until then, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.